Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing a haul video. This is still stuff from Nashville and St. Louis. But we just came back from 6 days of sourcing, going up to New York and back around through Ohio. Filled a truck, so it was a good trip, but it just seemed 7 days.
7 days. We started on Wednesday and ended on Tuesday.
Wow. It seemed difficult to get a lot of stuff anywhere. It really did. So we did okay. But you know what? I can't even tell you remembering one huge treasure. I mean, I know there were treasures in there, but none of it sticking in my brain. But we went to, I want to say six outlets. West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Rochester, Canton, Akron, Columbia, Columbia, and then Dayton, Ohio.
Columbus.
Oh, Columbus. Met a lot of nice people. We met up with our friends from my Discord, Teresa and her husband, Tim. We met up with Karen. We had met her previously when we went up to Rochester, and her sister. And then when we went, I can't even remember if it was Akron or Canton. We met not anybody who's a viewer, but his name was Nate, and he was just the nicest guy. Sat and talked to him a lot about whatnot. But just a really, really nice guy. Kind of, you can tell he would be a good YouTuber / whatnotter. He just had the nice personality. Really nice guy. We ran into Joanna and her husband, Eric. And what was the name of theirs?
Pigstar Patch.
Pigstar Patch. And then we ran into Amy Lilly and spent quite a bit of time with her, and even went to dinner with her in Dayton. And then also we ran into a viewer, Joyce, in Columbus with her friend, but I cannot remember her friend's name. I'm sorry. But it was fun meeting up with people again and getting some sourcing done, sharing some stories and ideas and solds and all of that stuff. Let's go ahead and get this show going.
Can I point out we have an unpaid advertiser?
Do we?
We do. No, not really. But Holiday Inn Express, best beds in the hotel business, y'all.
We tried to, be a little bit frugal in picking the hotels, and that was a bad decision.
It was miserable.
So, never again.
No, Holiday Inn Express, I can sleep comfortably in their beds with minimal agony. The other beds I slept in with just agony on my back, and there was one I left them a review on their...
Did you?
Yes, I did. So
it was
Baymont,
awful.
The water came out brown when it started, and...
You could see into the hallway through the cracks of the door. That
yes.
was the thing that stuck out to me the most. You could see into the hallway.
Which means the hallway can see into your room.
Yeah. But yeah. The problems with traveling and hotels. But hopefully we're going to consider this whole RV idea and get a really good mattress for Robert. And then, we can do some more traveling and not have to worry about hotels for the most part.
Yeah.
All right. Look, I had to show you guys all in one stop. Not in the same bins, though, which was kind of funny. All of these are actually Chuck E. Cheese. Obviously, he's Chuck E. Cheese. I'm thinking, $10, $15 for him. I have already forgotten his name. I was hoping that he was going to be some big treasure. Not so much. Probably, $15 or so. And then I haven't even checked her. She needs a bath. Let me see if I see a date on her. Some of these older ones, 2000. Oh, I get my glasses. I thought it said 11, but then no. 2021. So probably, going to be $15, $20 hopefully for her also, if I can get her cleaned up good enough. Now let me show you some of the smalls. We found a wooden, articulated body one time. And And I remember selling it. And I'm pretty sure these might be IKEA. But now we found a dog. And I think it's the same thing. Artists use these to make models or something. I don't know. You know, or drawings. I picked this up. We Google lensed it, but now I can't remember what the value was. At least, hopefully, bread and butter. Wishables. Most of these are bread and butter. If I've got other wishables, he's just going to go into a lot. I picked up a bunch of these. I don't even know how many. I'm thinking at least a dozen. But here are these. They are Novelty Ink is the brand. But it was a bunch of just little devil bear keyring plush. I don't know. I might make like lots of 2 for $10, something like that. Just depends on how many I found. I like this series. I've sold one for quite a bit. Quite a bit being maybe like 20 some dollars. But the rest have pretty much been bread and butter. But these are called Palm Pals by Aurora. You know, I just like the design of them. I think I've got a couple listed, and if any of them are farm animals, I'll probably just add him to it, unless he's just one of the ones that sells for quite a bit. There may be more of these, but anytime I can pick up, you know, multiple Christmas ornaments, yeah, Wonder Shop. So these are Target. You know, I'll make a lot. There may be a few more, though, but I'll make a lot. You know, I'm hoping $10, $15 for them. How cute. It's not maybe canvas kind of, but it says Crescent is the brand. 2022. Some reason it just gives me like Target vibes. I think it's more decoration than it is a plush, but I'm hoping at least bread and butter. For the most part, panda bears don't do very well. But you know me. It's vintage. It's a Wish Bear from 2001. May department store. Oh, and Gund. That's why I grabbed it. I like Gund. When I'm at the bins, I really try to focus on a lot of the vintage plush. Because once it goes to the landfill, that's it. They're gone. And, you know, at some point, there may never be another one. Puppet. I think there might be a couple puppets. I'm not quite sure. Oh, this one's Manhattan Toy. Love that brand. Maybe the other one I remember at some point is also Manhattan Toy, and then I'll have a lot. Scooby-Doo. Except my rule about only usually buying them if they have the collar. I failed on that one. Probably going to be bread and butter. I like these. I don't find them very often anymore. And again, you need to be careful that their head is good, because this is like a styrofoam ball. And then I think this feels styrofoam, but it's got a music box in it. The head moves. It's musical. You know what? I knew the brand until I started this video. Oh yeah, Poder, 1988. I used to be able to get like 15, 20 for these. So we'll see how it's doing, because it's been a couple years. I know since we started this channel, I've talked about this at least once, but I don't remember. I don't know if this is Jimmy. I don't think so. It could be Hallmark or Dandy. It's not currently working, but it is an animated Chipmunks Christmas. You know, I'm hoping $12 or $15 for it. I think this is Gund also, like Baby Gund. Oh, it's got one of these paper stickers on. I'll have to use like alcohol to get that off. But just a cute elephant baby plush. Probably going to be bread and butter. I may have one listed. Love when I find books characters. This is a plush. Almost always they're merrymakers. I just listed something, but right there's the brand, Merrymakers. It usually will tell you the name of the book. All this one was called was Hippopotamus, but it gives you the ISBN for the book. A lot of times it gives you the author's name. It was from 2019. Aaron Zens or Zans. A lot of librarians, preschool teachers, kindergarten teachers like these types of plush. I'm hoping 15 plus for it. This one's Walgreens. A lot of the Walgreens and the Walmart tags are very, very similar. I tend to pick up most Walgreens plush because for the most part, a lot of them are limited releases. You know, it's for a season, and then next season it might be a different color, you know, different bandana, some other kind of decoration on it. So I tend to pick up most Walgreens. And, you know, I'm hoping 15, 20, and especially if it's a dog. You know me, dogs.
If y'all are liking this content, don't forget to hit the like and drop a comment.
Yep. This is so cute. Oh, it is Hallmark. So I try to tell myself, a lot of the more contemporary Hallmark stuff just doesn't sell very quickly. But look how cute this was. It's still attached. Oh, it walks. And I guess she like pulls her baby along. It's very cute. I'm hoping $12, $15. Like we mentioned in a previous video, our average buy cost when we're going to the bins is about $2 a pound. So something like this, even though it's battery operated, it was right under a pound. So, you know, I paid $2 for this. You know, I'm hoping 15, 20 bucks for it. But when you average out all of the smalls that I'm buying that are just pennies, and then some of the heavier plush, yeah, it's very low cost of goods for us. All right, this looks like, yeah, more contemporary Walmart, but it's MTY International. I think a lot of the Walmart plush are that brand now. Before, I think it used to, you could probably get it at Kmart and all of that. But look how cute. A little bowl. Just, you know, probably $12, $15 for it. Probably most of this is going to actually go in my Whatnot show. But we picked up a lot of Bluey plush. Especially some of these side characters. I didn't even realize these were Bluey. But I've got these. This isn't one of the main characters. I found out his name is like Snickers. Here's another one. I'm just making, and you know, if I go in on eBay and I can make, you know, a lot of like this, and I can list it for $20, $25, I may go ahead and do that. I have a feeling all of these came from the same place because every single one of them is missing the tags. All the tags have been cut off. And, you know, a lot of kids don't like the tags. I don't know if I showed you guys this. It ended up in the basket that I thought not. But it was in a dress that didn't belong to it. Oh, I think it was a Bitty Baby or an American Girl dress. Always pay attention to the clothes on plush and dolls. Because, you know, kids mix and match. I found a doll this week that had a Bitty Baby dress on it. It wasn't a Bitty Baby. I think this was either American Girl or Bitty Baby also. But it needed wash, so I had already pulled it off. But this is a brand I've never heard of. Right here. It's written in French. Yeah, Paris, 1985. I don't know. I'm hoping, you know, 15, 20 plus.
I'll read French.
It looks like history of something. I don't know what the other word is.
Histoire d'hours.
Our history, maybe? I don't know.
But you're lucky I can read French.
You're right. Lovies. Let me see. I think it's Cloud Island, maybe. Yep. Some Cloud Island do very, very well. In fact, let me grab it. Pretty sure this is the one I've sold in just the last few months twice for like $26.95. So always keep your eyes open. Not everybody wants to buy the bread and butter, lovies. So just check your comps when you find them. But you know me, I like bread and butter. It doesn't bother me. But more than likely, sloths are just one of those characters or animals not as popular. Let's see. Oh, this is MTY International also. I think my plan was, I don't even remember what the cow. I showed you guys the cow, same tag. So I may just go ahead and put the two of them together. Two different little cows. You know, and hopefully like $20, $25 for the two of them.
Before we go on,
Yes.
and you show more of this stuff, we got to read the conversation starters. Y'all drop your answers in the
comments.
In the comments, let us know. So this is a multi-part question.
Okie doke.
I got to add one to it.
Of
What
course.
is the best movie you have ever seen?
Okay.
We just talked about that, but
I
you've
know.
seen movies in
I've
the past.
seen in the past. I did watch movies.
The worst. And what was the first movie you remember watching? The first movie I remember watching that I can recall, we used to go to the drive-in in Summerhill, Illinois, and I remember watching like Any Which Way But Loose over there with Clint Eastwood, and I remember watching Superman and some things like that over there. That's like going out to watch one.
I remember I was little, and we were in Germany, so probably 5 or 6 years old, and we went to the base theater and watched Bambi. And I was hysterical when, Bambi's dad was killed, mom was killed. I just lost it. But we used to go, I remember watching Snow White there too, so I'm not quite sure which one was first, but I remember going to a theater and watching them. Now the worst, there was a Clint Eastwood movie, and I don't even remember the movie, but it was a Western, and we went to a drive-in, and the whole movie was dark, and you couldn't even see it on the screen. Not the fault of the video or the movie, but you couldn't hardly see anything because it was all dark. But I fell asleep during Star Wars too, so that might have to be up there.
I've watched a lot of bad movies. I used to watch cheesy sci-fi movies, but I used to like to watch Mystery Science Theater 3000, where they would spoof. They would just make fun of the bad old sci-fi movies. That was entertaining. The best movie I've ever seen, I don't know, Band of Brothers, but does that really count as a movie? It's a miniseries. That was really good because it was true. That was just, I'd have to think really hard because I've watched some good movies too, and the best, to me, it's kind of hard to say because some of them are better for different reasons, but that one was really well done. It was true. So I really enjoyed that. So that's going to be my cheat there.
The astounding thing was that after he hooked up with the iCompany, he came back.
What was your best movie you ever watched? Did you answer
best.
that? Yeah.
My best. You know what? The one that made me laugh, you guys won't, Dennis the Menace. That movie cracked me up. I've never laughed so hard in a movie when what was his name? The neighbor?
Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Wilson.
Is that his name?
Yeah. And Dennis had switched out his nose sprayed with like mouthwash and he snorted it up his nose.
That would be torture.
As far as movies, I don't get into them like most people. I'll watch them because they're there.
What was the scariest movie you ever watched?
That one with Joe Osment, Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense?
That movie freaked me out. And then you turn right around and you watch it again and you see it the second time.
I see dead people. They don't know they're dead.
I know Salem's Lot, the old original, scared me to death when I was young. But the most terrifying movie ever is called Idiocracy.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
I laughed throughout the movie, and when I went to bed that night and realized, like, holy cow, that's really happening to us. I was terrified.
Here's the dress that was on that pink pig. And, look, American Girl. I'll look to see. There are some dresses that all by themselves, will sell $15, $20+ dollars. I guess I showed you guys a dress that wasn't in the greatest of condition recently. I guess normally they're like a cranberry color, and mine was red, and somebody told me that mine was the harder to find one. But because of the condition, I still didn't list it for a whole lot. But I appreciate when you guys send me that kind of information. Rabbits. This is Kelly Toy Be Happy. I just like them. I think I may have another one that's the same style, and I may just make a lot of two. Be cute like in Easter baskets for twins or anything like that. This is Gund Sinclair. A dog. Some kind of terrier. Just very, very cute. You know, I don't know. Sometimes these are bread and butter. Sometimes they can be $20, $30, $40. Now let me show you 3 treasures that I pulled out of this. I love this one. Look at this. I never hardly ever find this brand. Look at that face. You can just tell the condition is amazing. It has its paper tags. And here's the brand. Hansa. Very, very seldom find it. This is a cheetah from 2015. I'm thinking about $75, $80 is what I'll be listing it for. If there's none with their paper tags, I may go even a little bit higher. You know, I'm just trying to kind of keep at the same price as others and then see what kind of offers I get. All right, what'd you figure out?
I've been studying linguistically over here. I got Histoire d'ours.
Histoire d'ours.
Histoire. The H is silent.
Right, histoire.
Histoire d'ours.
I took French in middle school for like 6 weeks. But I think it's one of the few that I don't even remember my numbers very well. We had a question in a crossword puzzle last night, and I couldn't remember the number, how to say the number 8.
Yeah, all the French I learned was either on Hogan's Heroes from Le Beau or
yes.
from Pepe Le Pew. So that's the extent of my French.
All right, and then this. Who does he look like, but just the wrong color? Elmo. But he's a blue Elmo. He's a very dirty Elmo, but nevertheless, he is from 2017. There are a couple of listed ones. I want to say $40, $50. But I went and looked at Terapeak, and in December, which we're heading into 4th quarter here, hopefully soon, in December of last year, one of these sold for $99. So I may go higher and wait for 4th quarter and see what happens. But I got to get him cleaned up first. And now my treasure. At first, I thought this was Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. But Google Lens helped me out, and it is Adventure Time. I think his name is Hambo. He is somebody's beloved pet. Made me think of Scrump from Monsters, Inc. But yeah, that's what this is. There is one listed for over $400. There's a couple of solds for like $40 to $60. But I think I'm going to go closer to about $100 and see what happens for 4th quarter. I'll look on WorthPoint, see what the history looks like. Look on Terapeak. But I think it's such an obscure plush that there's probably not going to be a whole lot of history. So I think I'll just go high, but not 400 high, and see what happens.
Hopefully you drag the price up.
Yeah. Especially when there's so few listed. Sometimes it just takes somebody saying, I'm not dragging this down. I'm going to go back up and see what happens. You know, maybe even 125. We'll see. All right, y'all. I got work to do. So let's all get to work. Bye.